All right, story time. All right, man. So I'm sure it might have been, this was like 2007, 2008, like when I first got out here to LA, right? So when I first got to LA, I really didn't know nobody, you know what I'm saying? But I do remember talking to this one cat that I had met in Detroit. His name was Hustle King. And me and him had tried out for some play in Detroit. I remember us filling out the papers to auditions before I got to LA. I was just fucking around. But I remember him, and then I remember seeing him down at this club called Floods in Detroit before I moved to LA. And he was like, yo, man, I remember you. He's like, yeah, man, I live in LA now. You need to fuck with me. I said, man, I'm gonna move to LA. He said, oh yeah, when you get to LA, dawg, hit me up. When you get out there, I'm already out there. He from Detroit. He was like, I'm already out here. He had made it on his TV show. So I get to LA, woo-woo, finally. And then I start, you know, the first thing I do is call the one number I know. This nigga Hustle King that I met in Detroit. I don't really know him, but I hit him up. He like, oh, what's up, man? We in Hollywood right now, man. Come holler at us. We on Sunset and Vine. You come holler at us. We in Hollywood. We finna go to the studio right now. I'm like, the studio? All right, I'll meet y'all niggas. I didn't know nobody, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll meet y'all. I like the studio. I like the rap. I like all that shit. So I drive down there, you know what I'm saying, park illegally, because I just got to LA. I ain't been out here a week. I'm just riding around. So I meet up with these niggas there in the studio. The studio turned out to be my homeboy John B. crib, who was the producer. He was a producer, and he used to make beats and record all this nigga Hustle King music. Hustle King, nigga, he was an actor, but he used to rap. When I got out here, he was rapping. He used to wear glass. He used to wear the shades. He bought 5 or 6 chains. He's like, nigga, I'm Hustle King, young nigga at the time. So we hanging out at the studio, and you know, I'm just sitting in there smoking weed with them niggas. And it really wasn't no studio. Like I said, it was my man's apartment. He had a big-ass laptop. He had Pro Tools, and he was nice with the beats. My nigga John B. Not John B. My nigga John D. And so we up there listening to the, you know, I'm listening to them niggas write raps and shit. So me and him got cool. After a couple of days, I would always go. That's all I knew. So I would get up, go to the studio, sit in there, smoke with them niggas and shit. I ain't know nothing about L.A. Sunset and Vine. That was the name of the apartment buildings, too. And we used to sit up in there. So after a while, me got cool. Nigga Hustle was like, yo, my nigga, you know how to rap? He was like, yeah, my nigga, you gotta get on a song with me. So I'm like, all right. Now, mind you, I came out to LA to do comedy, but I'm still scared as hell to do it. So he was like, get on this song. So I go in there, you know, I write me a little verse. You know, I'm excited. I'm in LA. Anything that's popping, I'm on. I'm in LA. So I'm writing my little rhymes out. The song was called California Living. We wrote this song out. I wrote me a little verse. The verse was cool. So John D., who was the producer, was like, yo, man, you should come back through. You should fuck around a little bit. So I was like, all right, I started hanging out. So I would come down there, even if Hustle King and them niggas wasn't there, because at the time, they were selling CDs on Hollywood Boulevard. And at the time, I wasn't rapping. I wasn't doing comedy. I just was hanging out. But I got on that song. And then I started going over there. And before I knew it, I had recorded a little EP. So I recorded. Before I knew it, I had gained a little momentum in my own mind. I was doing a little show, following Hustle King around the little shows. And before I knew it, I ended up booking me a show at the House of Blues on the Sunset Strip. I got connected, was able to throw a show at the Sunset Strip, Hollywood House of Blues. At this point, I'm writing every day, and I could tell there was a little tension involved between me and Hustle King. Hustle King still played it cool, but whatever. So I ended up putting the show, because Hustle King wasn't getting shows like that. He was getting shows now because he was a hustler, and he was getting his money too because he used to sell his CDs on Hollywood Boulevard. So he was getting money, but he really wasn't gaining a whole lot of momentum in his music. But he had this ego. I ended up booking the show at the House of Blues, but I had made songs. I had Hustle King featured on the song. When we get to the show, I tell Hustle King, I said, look, man, I'm like, nigga, I got this song we both on. Let's go and do that. We're going to perform that on the show. But I don't want you to come out on stage, my nigga, until your verse. And I want you to just come out like Hustle King. Woo, 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 woo. Like that, right? That's what I told him. I'm like, dude, come out like that. Hustle King was a little hothead, too, for a young boy from Detroit. So, like, whatever. So, anyway, the show come. Boom, I go out on stage. Now, there's people in the crowd. Not a whole lot of people in the crowd, but there's people there. I go out and do the show. Hustle King, he on the show. I got my girl, Ebony Renee. She from Inglewood. Shout out to Ebony Renee. She was a female artist. And my nigga, John D. So we prepare all week for this show. We practice and practice and practice for this show. I ain't doing no comedy. We practice and practice for this show. Showtime come. Hustle King, don't come out to your verse. Boom, song start. Whop, I walk out on stage. First song of the show. Boom, I walk out there. As soon as I grab the mic, I'm about to start flowing. I look out my side eye. This nigga Hustle King done walked out on the stage. I'm like, I looked over. Now, mind you, it's showtime, so I can't really say nothing. So he on there for both of my verses, just, yeah. I'm like, damn. So after the show was over, the whole show was over. As soon as we walked off the stage, I turned to my nigga. I was like, yo, my nigga, we ain't rocking no more, bro. We done. You know, because I felt like he was real brash. He was cool, but he was real brash. And I felt like this nigga just was, I felt I took that as disrespect. So the crazy part about it is, after that, you know, my heart wasn't really in rapping, no way. But I felt like I can do it and I enjoyed doing it. But I really came out here to do comedy. So I just felt like I had started going so long that I'm in this bubble of rapping. But that particular day, when he came out on that stage, I was like, all right, my dude, we ain't cool no more, bro. We ain't even rocking it. Me and him didn't even speak no more. Then shortly after that, my dog Cheddar got in a little trouble, and he had to go back to Panama. Dog John ended up having a baby with a chick out in the valley, out in the IE, so he had to move. So everybody around me that I was doing music with just kind of went on and did their own thing. Life happened. So to me, I felt like that was God just removing all them people. So when everybody went from around me, I ain't had nowhere to record. I just got songs, just like, damn, I'm out here by myself. I guess it's time to get into comedy. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm about to go on stage, man. I grabbed me a pint of vodka, the cheapest one you could find. I heard it was this spot called Sarah's in the Valley. Pulled up to the club, it was early, wasn't nobody there. I just sat in the car, called my mom, like, Mom, I'm finna start doing this comedy. I'm finna start. Stepped out the car and comedy started. Never forget, walked up to Sarah's in the Valley. Buddy Lewis and Kim Whitley ran a room called Sarah's in the Valley. Buddy Lewis was sitting outside in the chair right outside the club. It was early, so wasn't nobody there. And he like, I said, hey man, I came. He said, you do comedy. He's like, is you funny, nigga? I'm like, yeah. I didn't know if I was funny or not. He was like, yeah, Kim Whitley on this show. She'll be here in a little, man. Just wait out, man. You could be on the show. Just hold on, man. Niggas put me on the show, man. I was faded. I went up there and cussed everybody out. But that was my first time on stage. And then I went over to the Comedy Store and snuck on stage. And I never forget. Nigga, Ron G was in I was in the original room. This comedian named Ron G was in there. What up, Ron G? Ron G was in there. When I got off stage, I heard a couple laughs. But Ron G was like, hey, man, you gonna be all right, but you gotta lift your head up on stage. I'm like, oh, all right. I never forget. Then on, I just started going and going because my music circle had disappeared. So I'm like, shit. So God just removed all of that out the way. Them still my partners and whatever. Hustle King, cool. I don't see him as much. Shout out my dog, Hustle King, but I just felt like that was God just removing everything out the way because I was going down the wrong path. Music is cool. I still fuck with rapping and shit. I love that. But I came out here for another thing, and the only way I got into it was that he just removed all them people out of my life or put me in position to go and start comedy. So yeah, man, I used to rap, man. I was out here rapping for real. I still fuck around though, don't get it twisted. But yeah, man, you know, everything started to open up and things started to move along once I got into comedy, which I feel like was my calling. But yeah, crazy time. Shout out Cheddar, shout out Hustle King, shout out John D, Ebony Renee. You know, my Cali clique, man, my studio clique. So I wasn't really no rapping. I didn't come out here for it. So I had to get on my, you know, I had to get into my calling. But yeah, man, I was rapping it first. And then comedy just took over. So for more stories like this, though, make sure y'all download my YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Hit the notification bell so y'all can get all these stories ASAP. It's your man, Kevin Tate. I'm out. Peace.